I played basketball and American football in high school, and one of my coaches told me that I would never be a great basketball, football player because I couldn't lose my temper. I never lost my temper. I believe he was correct, okay? To really be great at sports, you have to be able to completely lose your temper and become extremely emotional. Okay, but I'm a great world traveler because of I don't lose my temper. I can hardly remember ever losing my temper, where I just really went kind of berserk, screaming mad, whatever. Probably at a girl. Okay, I got pretty drunk a few times and did some things that were very violent when I was drunk. I don't know if I was losing my temper or not. But I'm looking some people are too angry for extreme adventure travel. Adventure, there's two different definitions I'm using right now. Adventure travel is when you can get killed. And I'm going to go to Israel here in December, about December 10th, 2024. And there's a war going on there, right? And, if you want to be alive, you got to strive to...
Good morning.
Hola, amigo.
How are you?
Good. And you? How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Disfruta el día.
Thank you very much.
Wave. Okay. But adventure travel is when there's the possibility of dying. So adventure travel could be bungee jumping sometimes. There's a lot of sports that are you're not really going to die. I think White River rafting is an adventure travel where you could die. Extreme travel is going to Israel, okay? Because basically nobody wants to go, and everybody that even says, they won't even possibly consider it in their brain. And that is extreme travel. When I went to Iraq in 2003, in August of 2003, right after the heavy fighting, there's places I went where it's, you just extreme travel. I'm an extreme adventure traveler. And I'm very fortunate now that my mother and father are dead. They died because they don't have to deal with it, okay, emotionally. But I'm going to go through like 10 things that are signals to me that you should not go and think or and travel. I remember I was in Lake Athlon a couple years ago, and these guys wanted to go to a place they wanted me to travel with them. And I said to them, one of them, I said, I'm never going to travel with you. You lose your temper. Okay, losing your temper is unacceptable, in my opinion, for travel. Absolutely the worst possible thing you can do is lose your temper. But here are some signals that tell me that you are not capable emotionally of dealing with the world on a mental way. I don't know what you want to call it. You have to be spiritually, mentally. Basically, the biggest problem is that you don't accept the world for what it is, okay? And when you don't accept what you cannot change, then you have, in my opinion, emotional problems. That means that you should stay at home. Okay. But these are some of the signals I see in people that make me realize that they shouldn't travel. I could probably add to it. There's some people get really mad at religions. And I was like going, how can you be mad at religions? I mean, first of all, they have very little influence. Like when a Jehovah's Witness, comes up and knocks on your door and you get really angry. This is an extra one, a bonus one. Hey, it's a personal problem, okay? Okay, but here's the 10 that I've got. You shouldn't get mad at when people come knock on your door. Hola. And when a person comes up and you're making a video and they're like shaking your hand, and you shouldn't get mad either, okay? But when people get mad at things that they really have no choice but to accept, it's an emotional problem. It's a desire to be God in a lot of ways. Okay, but these things signal to me that you were not capable to be an adventure or an extreme traveler. You can be an adventure traveler sometimes because you often don't know what the danger is. A lot of people that are doing adventure travel don't even know that they're doing adventure travel. But extreme travel, normally there's nobody doing it, so you know you're doing it. People that get angry at telephone calls. When somebody calls you up, like I put my telephone number in my thing all the time. Why? Because I could care less if somebody calls me. If I don't, but I'm very good at blocking them, and I'm really good at buenos dias. I'm very good at things, but my mom used to get kind of frustrated at phone calls, and I'd answer them. And I often, when somebody gives me a phone call, I'll sit there and rate the call. I say, your marketing strategy is pretty horrible, or I'll give them a thing, or I get these calls constantly on my Skype number, and I don't get angry at them because I can't change it, right? I mean, what am I going to do? And I don't do anything really, but I advertise my phone number. I tried to fire one guy who was working in my real estate office. I really got angry at him. I said, somebody called up and was trying to sell us something at our real estate office. He started screaming at the guy, and I go, hey, we advertise this number. Please, you're representing me. And I was really quite angry. Now, was I angry and losing my temper? No. I'm a premeditated, get angry, get vicious, be thing. I'm brutal. I can be very brutal. Okay, number 2, advertisements. People get angry at advertisements. That's like, you might as well just be angry all the time, right? Beggars and people trying to sell you things in the street. I always see that as a emotional problem. They're first of all, both of them are in a way working, and you should be proud of somebody that is, especially somebody that's trying to sell you like goods on a beach or something like that. You just be able to say it. I just shake my finger and don't. But I also don't react when somebody walks up and starts talking to me, and it's quite obvious that they are a mental problem, or they really are just trying to evade. Like, they're like, hey, a cat. Where'd this cat come from? Oh, everybody thinks I don't like animals. I like animals. I don't like owners of animals because they don't have respect for people. Okay, beggars and people selling stuff. When you're standing in line, when people get real angry when you're standing in line, I'm laughing at them because I'm going, guys, you definitely can't travel if you're not willing to just like have a 20-hour layover in the airport. People get really angry when a plane or a train or a bus doesn't leave on time, or they miss a train or whatever. I don't really miss any buses or trains or stuff because I do what they say, and I arrive early, like the 3 hours early. I always arrive early. I missed a plane in Niger, Africa because it left a half hour early. And I had food poisoning at the time, so I thought I had malaria, but I really think I had food poisoning. I was flying back to Ivory Coast to a better place to hang out. Waiting in line is for sure, when somebody gets frustrated when they're waiting in line, they should adapt and, carry a book. Like I always have a book on my phone, and I can sit there. I like to read stuff when I'm in line. Slow internet for sure. It's just like part of life, right? Sometimes you have high-speed internet, sometimes you have slow internet. You definitely can't work on websites if you're going to get angry at the internet because it's unpredictable. again, it's like the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Getting mad at things you cannot change. Uh, here's one that's kind of a more tricky one. Tempted to troll. People that are tempted. See, people that get angry are tempted. Then they have an excuse and then they get angry. People that give themselves permission to get angry are not in control of their temper. I don't give myself permission to be angry. One of my friends was saying he's trying to not get angry, and I said that's the problem right there. Is you're trying, okay? You do it, okay? Getting mad at the tempted to be a troll and tempted to attack somebody. Now, don't get me wrong. When Elon Musk or Donald Trump does this, what what these two guys are doing is they're basically being leaders. And when you're a leader, there is times when I have to go up and get in somebody's face and threaten to rip their face off, okay? You have to be able to willing to do this in a premeditated way, okay? If you are not willing to stick the knife in and twist it on certain people, because evil exists because a good man does nothing, right? Okay, the weather. Getting mad at the weather. I have no understanding of getting mad at the weather. This is really just asinine. Politics. Getting mad at politics. Don't get me wrong. I get frustrated because these politicians are so unjust. What really makes me frustrated, if you're going to get me kind of ranting, is going to be over things where people are just they want unjust behavior, and they basically they agree with unjust behavior. Like, I truly believe that President Biden went over to Ukraine and basically did some corruption and took he was basically denying them $1 billion. I think this deserves, actually, what I think they ought to do to him for this is, I don't know if it's illegal or not to say it, okay? Execution, okay? Politics, car rage. Now, car rage is an interesting thing. I can get pretty angry when somebody's tailgating me, and I'll stop the car and I will, I literally would come to a complete stop and give them the eye of the tiger. But it's premeditated. I know what I'm doing. I'm not losing my temper. Number 10 is getting cheated. Okay, when you get really mad and you get cheated, the goal of getting cheated, when you get cheated, what you should do, instead of getting really mad, is you sit there and say, take a moment, take a sizz or a pause in the music, and you say, why did I get angry? Hola, amigo. And when people come up and just watch you and look at you, you know, that's normal stuff. If you go to India, if you don't like people looking at you, like travel, a lot of people get real angry when people are looking at them. And I go, hey, guys, but cheated is another thing, is you really need to take a pause and ask yourself, what did you do that allowed yourself to get cheated, and make it a lesson. Okay, these are the 10 things that I could come up that would mean that you are not going to be able to travel with me to Israel because you would lose your temper. I'm very, very concerned when I'm with somebody that loses their temper because, first of all, when anybody that's a troll or they're losing their temper around me, I basically erase them. I barrar them. I get rid of them. I don't have any use. I ghost them. Because when anybody's manipulative, unjust, unfair, because see, in a way, the reason why evil exists is because a good person does nothing. But when a good person does evil behavior by losing their temper at things they cannot change, they're emotionally they're not making the world a better place. And especially people that go to the church and the Bible and believe in religions and believe in God, to get angry at your fellow man is to be a bad example. Okay, I'm Andy Lee Graham. The goal of life is to be a good example. I'm here and you're not. Why not? I'm in the country of Colombia, and life is good.